All week over on Wavy TV 10, we've been talking about the state of education in Virginia. Tonight, as we wrap up our series of reports, we're digging a little deeper into this topic. It's been a big part of the headlines the past 2 years, especially during the race for governor. From the campaign trail to the inauguration, Governor Glenn Youngkin proposed sweeping reforms to Virginia's public education. And our John Dowding and investigative reporter Julie Millet join us now with a look ahead at the future for Virginia students and also their families.
Yeah, Anita, a lot of change coming, and one thing for sure, change is guaranteed and it's on the way, but they still won't see, again, don't know exactly sure when that's all going to set in motion.
Yeah, as we've covered this week, some of the governor's pushes for more school choice options and changes to the state curriculum are being met with opposition.
Parents should have a say in what is taught in schools.
Executive Order 1 jump-started a wave of educational reforms in the Commonwealth, from eliminating divisive learning to more support behind school choice options. Parents will face many new changes coming to their child's school. But some education experts say the governor's executive order wasn't needed.
You don't need an executive order. You can just direct the Secretary of Education and the superintendent, who are appointed by the governor, to do this review. I think the executive order was done as kind of a political stunt.
It matters, and this was setting a priority that restoring excellence to education was a day one priority, and it will be a day 425 priority, and it will be a priority on the last day that we are in office.
We spoke with both Amy Guidera, the current Secretary of Education, and Atif Kwarni, who held the same role under former Governor Ralph Northam's administration. They agree on the need for improvements in the public school system. What they don't agree on? The approach.
I think it was spreading a lot of misinformation on what's actually happening in Virginia. So this attack on really teaching an honest and full, complete history is really problematic, because history is full of divisive concepts.
How do we build greater trust through having greater transparency about what's being taught in schools, about how well we're doing, to be honest about how well we're preparing all of our students and all of our learners for success in life.
Some argue proposed changes give parents more control over what their children learn, but others say the move to make these big changes highlight the, quote, inexperience of the administration.
It's just really unfortunate. I think this is a political tactic to really manufacture a crisis that doesn't exist.
This administration is full of folks who have spent their careers being ready for the jobs that they're doing. And what is critical to highlight is that we're going to do this work by listening, by being inclusive.
So let me say first and foremost that I love the teamwork going on between the two of you all, getting more information out to the public about such an important topic. Everyone has been talking about this over the last year. So I'm going to ask both of you all a couple of questions here as we just kind of delve deeper into this topic that you all have been working on for a while now. And Julie, I'll start with you here. So one of the problems that you were investigating this week was the teacher shortage here in Hampton Roads, and I'm sure everywhere that they're, you know, kind of experiencing this right now. Yeah. So was there anything that didn't make it into your report that you found interesting in particular?
Yeah, you know, Anita, right now there's about 500 or a little more than 500 teacher and assistant teacher openings across Hampton Roads, and it was really interesting to interview a former teacher. We met Raven Wilson the other night. She taught in Newport News and York County, and what struck me was the way teachers are connecting on social media for support. Raven Wilson found her new job by scouring LinkedIn, and she now uses that as a base to mentor other teachers. And we heard from a lot of teachers on social media after her story aired. One told us that she was thinking about retiring after 25 years because of all the new pressures she's facing. Another teacher said he agreed, and that, you know, teaching is no longer the job that he signed up for.
Well, it's definitely changed over the years, and you know, there's some adapting to changes, and there's some things that they're saying, whoa, I don't want to have this happen. So did you have to do any Freedom of Information Act requests, and we call those FOIAs, to obtain some of this information, or did it just come to you? And if so, what were the results from all of this, John?
Anita, you know we have been working for weeks on this. So we actually filed 2 different FOIA requests. For everybody at home, a FOIA, or Freedom of Information Act request, allows us to receive public documents from the government so we can better understand what they're doing. In short, we filed 2. The first request was for the governor's office, which was at first denied because they cited a statute which says the working papers of the governor do not qualify for a FOIA request. And then we also filed a FOIA request with the Virginia Department of Education to understand the divisive learning tip line and all the things behind that. Now that one they're still working to respond to because they have more time to fill that out. They said they need more time to be able to get the answers back to us. So we're still waiting on that one out there.
And I know you all will definitely remind them that
Yep.
you're still waiting on it.
Yep.
So what are the big differences between a CRT and you just mentioned divisive learning and that tip line? So CRT has been such a hot topic. Not everyone can really explain it, but has CRT even been in K through 12 schools that you know of from the people that you spoke to?
Yeah, and in short, no. It's never been in Virginia public schools. It's become this buzzword that's caused a lot of confusion, which is the motivation for why we did these stories, to try to sort through a lot of the weeds out there and to understand things. Now, like the governor said at first, that critical race theory isn't necessarily a divisive concept. Critical race theory looks to understand why black people and people of color continue to occupy the bottommost rungs, social rungs of American society. It's an extremely, extremely advanced college theory that not even most law students take. And again, it's not in K through 12 schools. And it's not inherently divisive. It also looks to understand why these racial disparities continue to exist. Now, the difference comes with divisive learning. Now, divisive learning, from what we've learned to understand, would be the example State Senator Jen Kiggins gave us of a privilege bingo game that was played in Fairfax County schools, or when students had to cross a line depending on their levels of privilege in a class. That's what they're considering divisive learning. So those are what some people are considering divisive learning, and also the tip line from the governor's office looks to provide a way for parents to report instances of those in their children's classroom to report to the governor's office. And again, like we've been saying, CRT has been this hot button buzzword issue for weeks, years, months now. And so people have expressed their confusion online about what exactly is being banned if it never existed in schools. Now, while others are saying versions of CRT are in school, again, for clarification purposes, CRT is not in school. What is in school are these instances of what the governor is calling divisive learning. That is what could be found in some schools. But CRT and divisive learning are not one and the same. Some education experts tell us they're worried, though, about setting this broad definition of what divisive learning is and how those future impacts it could have on the classroom.
Yeah, you know, there's kind of good and bad to everything, and it's like, well, you don't want divisive learning, but at the same time, you got to draw the line somewhere. As, well, history is inherently divisive. Yeah. Okay, thank you to both of you all. You've done a wonderful job, and I know you're not going to stop here.